Prime Minister, what would you expect from a deep reform of the multilateral development banks and the international institutions?
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Let me briefly share my thoughts on this critical agenda. The developing world, particularly African countries, are facing a cocktail interconnected crises. Financial crisis, climate crisis, a debt crisis, also a cost living crisis, in most places, instability. You might ask, what makes it special in Africa? What makes it unique in Africa is the magnitude of the crisis, as well as the interconnectivity of the crisis. As an instance, inflation, almost in all commodities, has risen sharply in many countries. Today, daily meal for many Africans are biggest issue. Private and public debt has reached new heights. Today, in most low-income countries, the headaches of government is not to think about development, but to think about how we can manage debt. All our effort is to manage debt instead of focusing on development. As if dealing with all these crises were not difficult enough, we also faced devastating climate effect. These all challenges are looking for huge amount of resources. Despite an elevated financial need, African countries are facing an unprecedented funding squeeze, which has aggravated the existing vulnerabilities. In my opinion, if we fix this problem in a place where we can find it in bigger magnitude, if we succeed in Africa, it will help us all to bend the arc of development history, because challenges are the largest in Africa and the needs are the most urgent. In a place where challenges are large and needs are urgent, fixing the problem, it might help us to correct our course and to handle similar challenges in different parts of the world. Accordingly, our goal should be to safeguard macro stability, to support low-income countries, also to sustain future prosperity. So as to address this challenge, we need a robust and predictable financial safety net. Without resource, there is no way that we can address this challenge. If we use as entry point financial resources, MDBs must be at the center of this game. They are the main player of this game. So if they are going to play great role on addressing this challenge, I think we should make reform on these financial institutions, at least in the following areas. Firstly, implement past plays. We have to walk the talk. There are lots of plays here and there, but delivery is not as the promises. So we should keep past plays in climate financing, SDR, also on injecting additional capitals for financial agencies so as to provide enough amount of resources for low-income countries. Secondly, boost concessional financing and grant. Without getting enough amount of concessional financing and grant, today's interconnected challenges is not addressed in a way that we're doing business today. It requires huge concessional financing, also grant. That is the only way that we minimize additional crises, also focus on our objectives of development. Thirdly, we have to finance green future. I don't know what others are doing. In Ethiopia, we're financing on low carbon pathway. 98% of our energy sources from clean source. We're investing on hydro, we're investing on wind, we're investing on geothermal, we're investing on solar energies. Beside this investment on clean energy, we have also an initiative called Green Legacy. We have started this initiative before a few years, 2019. The initiative will continue till 2026. Till last year, from 2019 till 2022, we have planted 25 billion seedlings. This year, we just started last week, we're going to plant in the next 3 months 7 billion seedlings. In total, this year we'll reach 32 billion. Till 2026, the objective is to reach 50 billion seedlings. Imagine if Ethiopia is investing $1, starting from preparation of seedlings all the way to plantation. We are investing specifically on climate $50 billion. If we could collectively invest this amount of money, we can easily tackle the challenge that we're facing today. We are doing it because we're mobilizing over 25 million people every year. We do have more than 125 nurseries to prepare those seedlings. I think from World Bank, from all stakeholders, supporting these kinds of initiative would help us to tackle the current challenge that we all are facing. But from our side, we're doing it, we'll continue to support neighboring countries to join us this Green Legacy initiative. The last but not the least is to reform multilateral developmental banks. I'm sure the new CEO, the new president of World Bank, is the lucky person. I'm sure he will not stay in the office for a couple of years and leave us without doing significant reform which will impact all of us. We Africans are expecting World Bank and other multilateral developmental banks to focus on poverty reduction, also on boosting shared prosperity. I thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister. Prime Minister, you have the final word.
The purpose of concessional finance is to address market failure and also to be a catalyst for development. Today, we all are witnessing market failure, left and right. So, having enough concessional financing to address this challenge is very critical. If we take, as an example, inflation, where specifically food commodities. Today, food commodities are skyrocketing. Theoretically, the solution is clear and simple. When you face difficulties on demand side, intervene in supply side, invest on productivity. But that simple solution is not working today. In Ethiopia, we've been importing wheat for the last 6 decades. And then before a few years, we have decided to start summer wheat productivity and to stop importing wheat to our country. We have achieved to increase our productivity more than 15 million quintal per annum. For the first time, after 6 decades, this year, we didn't import wheat from anywhere. But we couldn't fix the failed market because the production cost is again high. Fertilizer, minimum 3-4 folds up. Machineries, irrigation systems, pumps, fuels are very expensive. Having all expensive inputs, you can produce, but you cannot fix the market. For these kinds of interconnected challenge, we really need to have concessional financing, also grants. Beside these challenges, there are other crises which is aggravating this problem. War, local within, also other countries. Displacement, local from neighboring countries. Climate change. These all interconnected challenges are demanding to get huge amount of concessional financing and grant. In my opinion, all of my colleagues were properly sharing their thoughts on this critical agenda. The problem is there, but if we act in unity, the solution is also there. There is also opportunities. Let's act synergistically. Let's act today, and we can fix this problem, and then the next generation will have a better world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister. Thank you to all of you for participating to this panel, and I wish you a good day today in Paris. Thank you to all of you.